All right, hello and welcome to the debrief. It's Dave O'Neill in my car with the great Des Dowling. And we are on a back road.
Going for a drive, do a little gig, then drive back with the chat. It's called the debrief. It's called the debrief. It's called the debrief. It's called the debrief. It's called the debrief.
Is it a debrief or a pre-brief?
Well, this is the thing. We have a chat now and then we do the gig.
Yeah, so
And
not my first rodeo.
No, you've been on this podcast before. And what?
It's my only recognition. The woman said, "I know you," and I said, "Oh, how?" And she said, "I've heard you on Dave's The Debrief."
Oh, there
Thank
you
very
go.
much. I know.
You're also on Kinney.
Yes, yes. I know who I am.
Yeah, you know who you are. But anyway, we're off to where are we going? Rochester.
Rochie, as the locals call it.
Rochie, and this is a Sunday afternoon gig.
I know. Look out there, Dave. It's actually we're on back roads. We're heading towards Axedale. Just the name alone, I love. And there's a lot of rock-strewn, undulating hills.
It's very country.
Yeah.
Well, we're in the country. And what's happening in Rochie?
Rochie were doing the local business network, are having a bit of a get-together. They've had a very tough time the last couple of years, obviously.
Right.
Floods, floods,
bad
basically.
bad floods.
And so we're going up there to bring a bit of good cheer, Dave.
Well, it's going to be a challenge.
No, country
People are generally very... I did Myrtleford on Friday night, as regular listeners would know, with Limo, and that was bushfire relief, and now this is floods. So... If we could get a tsunami in by the end of the year...
Bringing relief wherever we go.
Not hand relief, let's make that clear. You mentioned Michael Mosley, but... Mosley, sorry. The doctor who...
That was in bad taste, but...
No, that's all right, because we were talking about it in Pilates the other day, Des.
Oh, okay. If it's made the Pilates talk fest...
Yeah, when one of the mums said, maybe we shouldn't take his advice. Maybe he's got things wrong, because he didn't seem to, what was he doing walking on a 40-degree day?
Well, someone said it's only a small island. They said kids don't get lost on that island, yet I'm bemused that it took days to find him. He was decomposing. He was 20 metres or somewhere from a bar, and they had drones up looking. But I mean, he must have... Did he cover himself with rocks or
there
something?
were rocks on him, they said. But the way they found him was that the mayor was on a boat in the ocean and said, hey, have a look over there. There's something over there.
Oh.
And the photographer zoomed in and went,
Is that for real? I didn't realise it was the mayor.
I think it was the mayor. I'm sure it was the mayor who was on a boat. Anyway,
I don't think we should be doing away with the whole 5 and 2 diet just because he had the temerity to die at 67, which isn't old and in fitness. But there was a good article in The Age saying a woman whose friend works in ER said the amount of men in their 60s who come into hospital because they've tried to keep doing what they did in their 40s and 50s.
I was just up on a ladder.
I am bad on ladders, I must admit.
I don't go up on a ladder anymore.
Don't clean the gutters, Dave?
Nope.
I do the gutters, and I'll often lean way over and think, I'll hang on to the gutter if I fall. It's because I'm an idiot.
Yeah, you got to be careful.
Oh, this little...
Where are I've done a gig in that joint.
This is a hamlet.
I've done a gig. I've done a gig in that hall, Des.
You should know where we are then.
This is
come on,
Clonbinane maybe, or somewhere like that.
Colbinaban, I never know. We're 8 k's from Axe Creek Road, which sounds a little bit Ivan Milat-ish, but
it's Deliverance style. But both of me and you both fast, don't we? That's a Michael Mosley thing, isn't it?
There's a lot of people out there fasting. It's just what we do in between the fasting, Dave, that brings us undone.
I had a spring roll before.
Did you? Did you have a normal spring roll, or did you have one of those ones as big as your forearm?
It was big.
Yeah.
From the market. A giant spring. They're very good.
There's a lot. There's the fasting, there's the intermittent fasting, there's 5 and 2, there's 18 and 6.
There was one that Durek was doing where he'd eat really healthy. Then on his days, he put photos on Instagram. He was eating a zinger burger in a croissant.
Yeah, I think the theory is that if you eat well enough, you'll feel that good. You won't want to eat crap on your off day.
Right. You're pretty healthy anyway, though.
Yeah, well, I don't drink, so that really probably helps. I comfort myself with that. I probably eat a bit much
You
junk.
don't smoke. What junk do you eat?
I like sugar. I like a sweet biscuit.
Yeah, well, okay, yeah. All right, Neville, a sweet biscuit at the end of the day. I think pensioners have been eating that for a long time.
I'll tell you what, chocolate-covered digestives. My mum's got me onto those.
They are good.
Tell you what, with a cup of tea.
They are good, but you're not a lolly fiend.
Oh no, I love my mint.
You're not going to say minties, are you?
No, mint leaves, but they don't make
Oh
them. But
my God!
I did a 3-day conference.
How old are you?
I did a 3-day conference in Sydney for the people who supply service station lollies.
Oh.
So they had free lollies everywhere.
Awesome.
And of course I got a red skin, not known as a red skin anymore, as a something or other.
Red Ripper.
Took a bite and pulled out
Yeah.
an entire tooth.
Oh.
Yeah, that's you're getting old when you're like, if I was an Inuit in Canada, they just leave me on an iceberg somewhere and go, once your teeth start.
So why you don't whistle when you speak, Des?
No, it's a back tooth.
It's but I'm saying because they're old. Remember, like Alan Steele.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
He was before Costas, wasn't he?
Yeah. What about who was the one who nicked plants? Kevin Hines.
Kevin he nicked plants.
Oh, well, one of them got done for stealing plants.
Oh.
Yeah.
Bloody hell. It's a sordid world of
The nursery,
horticulture.
Horticultural media stars.
And there's a lot going on. Speaking of, I guess that's all in the vein of cancellation. Kevin Spacey saying he's broke when he was worth something like 60 million before all this, but he spent it all on lawyers apparently.
Oh.
He admitted to being a bit, in inverted commas, handsy.
Well, Guy Pearce said when he did LA Confidential with him in the paper, he said, I'm glad I was 30. He was very hands-on and I wasn't an 18-year-old. So...
Yeah, it's interesting. The question, I guess, is does he lose his entire career and any possibility of future earnings, or how much does he have to be punished? It's a very vexing...
Yes.
Because people feel very strongly. Some people feel, never work again, never draw another paycheck from acting. Yeah, well, I don't know. I think people go to jail for...
Well, look at Jeffrey Rush.
Crimes. Well, Jeffrey Rush, has he worked since? Has he been
I think he's done maybe independent films or something.
Yeah, well, it's true. Yeah, I haven't
but
seen...
he was like the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise.
He's one of the biggest actors in the world.
Yeah, but he's also on that show. You've got Johnny Depp, who's also had his issues. So, but the problem is, as we know, they can be front page of the paper. Dave O'Neill pedophile. Then they investigate it. No, it was not true, and they'll put the apology on page 30. It's like, but you're labelled a pedophile or a sex pest for the rest of your life.
Yeah, once it's out there,
that's what you are.
But I can't. If anyone's just tuned in, Dave isn't saying that's what I am. He just used.
Please do not put that in the Daily Mail. Dave O'Neill admits to being sex pest. Someone tell me Guy Pearce came into their shop with his wife.
Ex-wife or new wife?
No, the new one.
Oh, yeah.
And the guy in Geelong and gave him a discount. And the guy in charge goes, mate, he doesn't need a discount. He's a Hollywood superstar. He got told off for giving Guy Pearce the discount.
Well, I think it's fair enough. I think you would expect to pay full price at not quite right Geelong, wouldn't you? Like even you doing.
And I said, did you talk to she's from Game of Thrones. She's the orange woman. She's like famous.
She came in on the dragon.
Yeah, and the guy, not the dragon.
Oh.
No. She's the woman who was like, gorgeous, and she was. But then she turned into a very old woman at night.
Oh.
You know that scenario?
Wow. And you nearly trapped me into saying something.
You nearly got cancelled.
Yeah. Well, I nearly got divorced is what I nearly got.
She would take off her gown or something, then she'd turn around and she was 108.
I think you're watching Shrek.
I think, well...
Shrek
if I ever meet Guy Pearce again, I have met him a few times, I'm going to say, so when your wife takes... does she transform into that woman at night? I wonder if he'd laugh. He's got not a bad sense of humour, Guy.
I'm more interested in stars getting stuff for nothing when they can afford it. But
as the great Kate Langbrook said to me, and I said the same thing, when we started on Nova, I went to the fish and chip shop and the guy goes, mate, you're on the radio, you can have these for free. And I said, I don't need free fish and chips now. I needed them 10 years ago.
And maybe in the next 10.
Yes,
You
exactly.
should have taken a rain check
come
on
back.
your free chips.
But I remember one of my friends, Dicko, who I work with, said his local cafe, the guy goes, you won't believe who came in today, Jonathan Coleman. And Jono, may he rest in peace.
Yes.
And he said, if we gave him a free lunch, he's going to give us a plug on Sunrise or whatever show he was on. Like,
oh dear.
and Dicko's like, oh, you've fallen for that. So he must have just like remember Bruce Mansfield used to do this.
Yeah.
He used to go around to cafes and shops and get shit for free.
I don't know how you could do that. I think it'd be
I know.
embarrassing. It'd be embarrassing being offered stuff for free when you could afford it. It'd be humiliating asking it for it for free when you could afford it. That's.
I mean, people know you, Des. I just filled in for you at the great truck show.
Oh, you did at Alexandra.
In Alexandra.
Yeah, I was poorly. Yeah.
Well, you sounded terrible. You actually inspired me to get a flu shot and a COVID booster after hearing you on the phone. I got off the phone and went, I'm going to go get a flu shot.
I got to get a flu shot. But mine
It
wasn't
sounded
actually
like
flu.
flu. No,
it wasn't flu.
It
was
sounded
just,
like flu.
Yeah, well, I just had a bad
Yeah,
croaky
really
throat.
bad though. But anyway, so I go to Alexandra now. For people that don't know, which is 99% of people, it's a truck show where they get 10,000 people in there to look at trucks.
Yeah, pretty
And-
cool actually.
Oh, the trucks were amazing. And Alexandra's a small town near Eildon in the Victorian
Up in-
high country, kind
Yeah.
of. And I get there and the bloke's on stage, the older guy who runs it,
yeah.
and it's a sponsor dinner.
Yeah.
And it's a classic in the town hall. You've got the round tables with different truck people sitting around.
Yep.
And, of course, the table down the front is completely empty,
No one sits
as we're used to in
Yes.
functions. And then to the side, there's a rough-looking bunch from Hallam Truck Centre. No, they were standing up the back, the Hallam guys. There was Dom, who owned 60 trucks. 60.
Each truck worth roughly, what, $500,000?
Oh, and I said, have you got any kids? He goes, yeah, my daughter here. And I said to her, you just relax. No TAFE or uni for
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
You get on the vapes. You kick back because you've got 60 trucks coming your way. Now,
You should have said, do you like middle-aged men?
yeah, exactly. And the guy organising it goes, all right, I'm going to bring you on. Because when I got there, he was on stage interviewing the organiser of the Corryong Festival.
There's a lot of cross-promotion up there. They know the value in
I don't know if you're
cross-promotion.
aware of the Corryong Bush Festival. It's interview-
Home of Corryong? Home of?
Oh, hang on. Dan Connell?
No,
Oh.
Corinne Grant.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. She was now a lawyer.
No, a lawyer. Yeah, one of the
Um,
great transformations.
Yes.
As opposed to the other way, lawyers becoming comedians.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, so he goes, and then he goes, he from stage, he sees me, he goes, we've got the fabulous and famous Dave O'Neill over there. We're going to have a break, and we'll be back with the amazing... He was building me up big time.
well, that's
so
good.
he comes and he hands me the mic, and he goes, now, David, are you going to walk through the crowd like the fabulous Desmond Dowling? Because obviously you've done this gig before.
Yes.
And you walk around talking to people.
Yeah.
And doing what we call crowd work. But you actually go off the stage and do
It's
it.
Latin for lack of new material.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm like, oh, I don't know, I might stay on the stage. And he goes, oh, really? Like, he's disappointed. And so anyway, and he's like, 45 minutes? I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's a long time for a spot at the Alexandra
Yes.
Truck Show.
Sorry, Dave. There was just a sign saying racehorses on lead around here. So
Oh, God.
I'd hate you to clip our cheeky boy before he makes has his maiden win at Echuca.
Or Black and Gold's Child, like the only racehorse I know, Far Lap. Anyway, and so I get up there on stage, and it's going well. They're great, the trucking people. But these guys from Hallam started yelling out, like,
Let's join in.
and they're up the back. And so I look at my watch, it's 40 minutes, and I go, all right, it's time to meet the audience. And I go down into the crowd, the fabulous Des Dowling style, and walk around and ping people. And
Just a little bit of gentle. Do you think people enjoy, given the nature of the world at the moment? Some people seem to really enjoy a bit of light-hearted hanging shit on them.
oh, they do. A bit of roasting.
It's not in my nature to just hang shit on people, but they seem to really want it and like it.
Oh, no, they love it. And you call things out.
Yeah.
There was one Asian man there, and it was very Anglo-Saxon bogans, and I said, "Oh, we got a bit of diversity here. Good on you, sir." And that got a huge laugh. But anyway, I go down to the Hallam Truck Boys, and I'm like, "What?" One guy was a massive unit. I go, "Well, who's this little bloke with you?" And he goes, "Oh, that's Ted." I go, "How old are you?"
Big Ted.
Ted. He was tiny, and I'm like, "Well, how old are you, Ted?" He goes, "Oh, 40. Gee, you've had a rough life." And then he just leads to the mic and he goes, "Cancer." I'm like,
what?
Yes. Now, I don't know whether he was joking. Oh, look, at least people laughed. But anyway, then I look at my watch. I've done 3 minutes in the crowd, I reckon. And I went, "All right, that's enough from me." And the organiser comes off and he goes, "Oh, that was great. Loved how you walked into the crowd."
What? Did you ask him if he actually had cancer?
Oh, the guy said, no, I didn't afterwards. I think he said he was joking.
I've told you I don't know if I've mentioned it on this podcast, but when I did the real estate firm and the young good-looking guy was on crutches.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought I'll have a chat to him, and I said, I said, "G'day, mate, what have you done? Do you have an accident?" He said, "Yep." And I could see something in his eyes. And I said, "Was it a bad accident?" And he just nodded and went, "Yeah, pretty bad." And I went, "You getting better?" And he said, "Yep." And I said, "Good on you." And I moved on.
Moved
very
right
quickly.
on. Yeah.
And after it, the woman came up to me, was very grateful, and said, "Thank you for moving on. I should have mentioned that poor guy was walking with his wife 18 months before, and they got struck by lightning and it killed her."
Jesus.
And he was still on crutches and I think had some sort of permanent leg injury.
Yes.
And you just thought, you poor guy. I didn't want to be, but
well, with a young guy, you would assume it's a skiing accident or a bike.
Yeah, football accident or something. Yeah. But look,
you've done well there.
I'm glad my spidey senses were tingling, and he really was very calm, but you could tell he was very.
Yes. Oh, so what happened? Tell us all.
Yeah. No, go on. What is it?
No, go on.
I've got all day. I haven't got another gig till October.
Yeah.
But
that great Denise Scott story when she goes to this, "Who's still living at home?" And this girl goes,
Oh, yeah.
"I am, Denise." And she goes into the crowd, "Why are you still living at home?" "Because I'm intellectually disabled, Denise." And she goes, everyone's so quiet. And she hides. She said she literally got up on stage and hid behind the curtain. And the woman yells out, "Don't worry, Denise, I still find you funny." And then she adds the punchline, "But then again, I'm intellectually disabled."
No, that is a great.
That's my biggest nightmare.
No, I think it's a great line, and it's a
good story.
It's a great story, and I presume it's as told.
Yeah.
And showing, yes, someone had an intellectual disability, still had a wicked sense of humour to be able to play off that and join and make it something that everyone. That's hilarious.
That's good.
Brilliant.
Anyway, we're off to Rochester.
We're off to Rochie. We're now 900 metres. We turn right on the Nankervis Road.
Horse poo for something.
Nankervis Road. And I know you haven't barracked for Geelong for long, but do you know the famous Nankervis brothers that played at Geelong?
Yeah, Brian Nankervis, who's Raymond J. Bartholomew.
No.
I know who you mean. Yeah, roughly.
Brothers,
But for someone who knows a lot about footy, you don't even have a team.
Yes,
but you were Carlton.
No, well, I'm following young Billy Dowling at Adelaide now because he's a son of a cousin of mine.
Oh, is he playing for Adelaide? Gee, Adelaide were going well last night.
Yeah,
when I got out of the car.
Till they weren't. 200 metres, Dave. We'll be turning right onto Nankervis Road, please. I think this is it, Dave.
But the same thing happened with Geelong the week before. Sydney just come back hard.
Yeah, they are. They are
the number one, mate. The number one.
They are.
All right.
Well,
those people living the dream. Gee, that looks like bloody deliverance.
Don't
right
judge, Dave.
Don't judge, exactly.
Don't judge.
And look at those people. They've got a posh house.
They do. Don't
you? They'd hate those people in the corner, wouldn't they?
Well, maybe not, Dave. Maybe they're good friends.
Maybe they're friends.
Maybe the lamb and the lion lie down out here.
Exactly. You don't know what happens at night. All right. Well, keep listening because we'll be back and we'll tell you how the gig went in Rochester.
God, if I scream.
All right, we're back on the debrief.
Well, we are back on the debrief. For as long, I just don't know that. Have you had this? Do we have a safety officer on this?
No, there's no safety officer. We've just done the Rochester Business
Network.
How many people, Des?
I would say a healthy 28 to 30.
Yeah, they were great.
They were very nice people who've been through man, there are people, some of them still living in caravans, nearly 2 years after the floods because of fart-arsing around insurance companies.
Well, Tracy, who was one of the organisers,
Lovely.
said
Tracy.
she was great. She's a funeral celebrant.
Funeral celebrant seems a bit incongruous, the two words, but also does wedding celebrants.
And
So-
as you point out, you're sitting on the retired teachers' table.
Yes.
Just
Just-
scoping for business. Yes.
Just and the fact that it was a business network, but there was a table of retired teachers. I don't know if they had a business or they just love free afternoon tea.
I think
because
it
was a
was.
lovely afternoon
Man,
tea.
it was a big spread.
Now, Dave, you're cruising into a 60k
Oh,
zone. I don't
Jesus,
want to be.
I can't lose my licence.
I don't want to be that guy, but
No, I can't lose my licence.
it's a tiny little town.
Gee, look at that hay.
It
Cows eating the
literally
hay.
was hay.
Big hay thing. But
Bale.
she was saying she's still living in a shed
Yeah.
and they're getting the plastering. Epilock. We're in Epilock, Des.
Yeah, we're going
Look
up
at those
Axe Creek
letterboxes.
Road.
And it's been 600 days, over 600 days.
I know, and it's what they do going forward. Can they? Because I think it was the water from Lake Epilock or from the
Yes.
Epilock system that
Yes.
flooded their town. Can they come up with a system where they can
Harness the water, Des.
put send the water off into other areas
Well,
when we have rainfall like that again, which we will, given the change in climate.
Well, yeah, interesting. There was a water buyer there, a guy who worked in water.
Looked like Koshy.
Yeah, she kept calling him Koshy.
Any bald guy with glasses is Koshy.
And he said, there's no more or less water than there was 20 years ago. It's just a matter of managing it. That's what he reckons. So,
But so he doesn't feel that there's more rainfall in these weather events?
I don't know. He said sometimes it just goes up and down. I asked him if he believed in climate change, and he said, yeah, absolutely. So,
Maybe we should have gone more in depth during our crowd work day.
yes, and bored people.
Really started a debate on climate change. What's it all about?
But, I remember hearing on the radio that insurance companies were arguing about paying out for some people if they argued whether the water came from the sky or came up from the ground.
Yeah, storm water or...
What the hell? Yes, that's what the retired dairy farmer said.
Yep.
And again, another person who doesn't have a business. Storm water or rainwater. They have it. Yeah.
Look, a big shout out to Cheryl. Cheryl was good. Alan was good. Alan, the retired dairy farmer, with his son Trent, who was 46 but dressed like he was 23.
Yeah,
and had a skateboard.
Big hat on. He had the ripped jeans.
Yep, and 4 kids at home under 14. So
Oh, yeah.
fertile Trent.
Oh, yes. And was it Wayne, the retired chemistry teacher?
Yes.
Oh, look at this.
Oh, watch that. That could bottom out.
It's a big dip.
It was one of those gigs where I did feel like we should say goodbye personally to everyone as we left.
Well, I
because
think we almost did, though.
Yeah, we learnt their names. Lovely folk.
It was great.
And Emma, who had was it an alternative shop, sort of?
She said it was an enviro shop.
She was the
Enviro?
youngest. She's probably the youngest person there, and
probably
had
35.
coloured hair. And the name of her shop was Twist and Sprout.
Yes. And you told everyone about the one that you saw in Queensland.
Yes, the girl who won an award. She had she only sold boxer shorts at her shop, aptly named Strictly Ballroom, which I think is one of the
That's
funniest
very
business.
good.
Yeah, very clever.
Very good.
Hats off, pants down.
When she came out, they'd take the rest of the day off.
Yeah.
Love a good pun.
Well, it's the sort of shop that people go into just to get the bag that you put the stuff in.
Yeah.
So, Dave, we're getting into twilight too, so I would ask you, sure, entertain your hundreds of thousands of listeners, but please keep an eye out for bloody kangaroos.
Oh,
'cause
yeah,
it
you're
is-
always on about kangaroos.
because
Being
I'm
a country person, you're
and-
always banging on.
Well, we saw this morning one came straight down the road.
Oh, really?
at us. Yeah.
I have to say, in all my driving, I've only ever seen 2 on the road, almost hit 2 on the road.
Well,
That's still 2, though.
too
I did a
many.
gig for the Eildon Boat Club. Have you done the Eildon Boat Club?
Yep.
And the guy's like, be careful of the wildlife leaving. I'm like, yeah, I'll be right. I seriously pulled out, and it was like a Disney movie. There was like a deer on the road.
Yep.
There were rabbits. There were kangaroos. It was like a bloody wildlife sanctuary on the road.
And you got the little wombats are the worst. If you hit a wombat, they can do a lot
really?
of damage. Oh, yeah.
Echidnas?
No, and a echidna's not going to hurt you. I mean,
No.
but it's still sad to see them.
Remember
side
when
of
we
the
did
road.
that mine? Me and Des have done a lot of gigs. We did that mine that was closing down in FNQ, far north Queensland. Remember that?
Yes. How many people did we get to that?
And the woman was expecting 200 and we had 20 maybe. God, that's
I tell you what, we could pull a crowd, Dave. I tell you what, once they hear we go, Lee, well, what's your excuse? You've been on telly 50 times or 150 times.
Yeah, well, that obviously doesn't make
Didn't
it.
they get Fisk up there?
Yeah, don't they get spics and specks? Anyway, I said to the guy, those two guys one worked in flora and one worked in fauna.
That's right.
And I said, if you, surely you must look at native animals and go, they'd be tasty. What would you have a crack at? And he goes, echidna. Straight away.
Wow.
The spikes.
Yeah, I'd get rid of the spikes first.
Yeah,
I
maybe the
trust you.
spikes are like a satay stick. Well, we can wind it up, Des, if you're worried. Well, what went well today, Des, in your gig?
Look, as we've discussed, middle-aged people out for a laugh, not too precious, joined in where they could. I thought they were a great crowd. For what it was, all you would like might have been another 20 or 30, so the organisers feel like it was worth their effort to pull it all together. And they put on a nice little feed. They had some Moccona coffee in the jar. That was good.
There were slices. There were Freddo frogs.
Hedgehog.
There was any drink you could wanted from the bar.
Just take your pick. So no, I'm and an afternoon gig. You, Dave, you and I are going to be home in plenty of time.
Love
You've
it.
got the roast on.
I got the roast on.
I'll be home.
Slow
an hour
cooked
before
roast.
you.
Slow cooked roast,
The
Des.
slow cooker.
Oh, not in the slow cooker, just slow cooked in the oven.
Not. That's
I've got
not
a slow cooker.
It's
but-
not a comment on your cooking.
No, on my state of mind.
No. What did you think? Were you happy with? And you went first.
I got to say that was one of the best things for me because I often have to go on last.
You
and
used to
I
closing
got
out the show.
I got a
Dave.
pep in my step once you said you can go on first. I'm
Well, I
like,
never know
"Woohoo!"
whether it's polite or I feel like saying, well, you drove up, Dave. And I do know going first, you can sometimes get a bit more of a pick of who's there, and especially in a small crowd. But I thought
there's-
you worked the crowd without totally exhausting
I didn't
them.
want to exhaust them for you because you do a lot of crowd work, and you're probably one of the best crowd workers in the country.
Please,
so,
stop, Dave, stop.
Come on.
No, stop. There's something on the road.
No.
No.
There's you and ugly Dave Gray. I don't know. But as we've discussed, some comedians don't like to do crowd work at all. They just
No, I think it's fair enough.
do their stuff. But I always find it's good to break the ice.
I think once you...
There's advantages about going first. The advantage is you get a fresh pick.
Yes.
You're done earlier.
Yeah.
The disadvantage is sometimes you have to act like a warm-up man to warm them up.
Yes.
Whereas today that wasn't really a problem.
No,
They were
in
good.
that first 5 minutes, there was a dead roo, Dave.
Oh.
In that first 5 minutes, I could tell you were going to
gonna
have
be
a
good.
great gig, and they were great. There is that awkward moment, and then I immediately think, when you've immediately got them laughing, I think,
I should have gone
I should have
first,
gone
yeah.
first. I could be. Then I can kick back and eat the Freddo frogs while you're bringing
I like
it home.
I like it.
But no, it was good. I think we
what
both
didn't
did
go
well.
well?
We'll stop here, mate.
I can see
Give
that.
way. Yeah, no,
Give way,
Just we're going left onto Sutton Grange Road.
Okay. All right.
Lake Epilock up to our left if you feel like a
Oh,
swim.
wow.
No. The only thing you'd like a bit more of a crowd. I thought
Yeah.
everyone was lovely. I thought they all added. They all made. They did make it fun. When people offer you little bits that are funny in themselves, and they just it was a great afternoon.
Organisational hazards get in the way. Got to say, the mic feedback a tiny bit. Hear that mic feeding back?
Yeah, if you stood underneath the speaker. It was I bought in my setup, and then you said put it back in the car. They've got their own
fine.
Radio Shack.
Yes. But it was
wireless mic.
okay, though. It was okay.
Yeah, it was fine. It was great.
It was okay.
And we just spoke to, we would have been doing this earlier, but who rang on the phone?
Dilruk J.
Jay
Singer,
Ah.
the first ever guest on the Debrief
Oh, was
podcast.
he?
Yeah, Dilruk was, absolutely.
And he rang up to just say hello. And
Yeah, I haven't heard from Dilruk for a while.
And it was a bad line, because I thought he said he'd just done a gig in Newcastle with Bono,
Yeah.
but it was actually Thorno,
Thorno.
David Thorno.
Yes. And
Another
you
great
to-
act.
Yeah. And you told you started talking like in a code about celery and toilet paper.
Oh, well, that's a long...
and I thought I'd missed a meeting.
I know. Well, it was just a little funny anecdote we share that I bumped into him on the street one day, and Dilruk had 3 bags of shopping, and the only things he had in those 3 bags were toilet paper and celery. which was some sort of weird sex act going on at his place.
Who knows?
Involving toilet paper and celery. So
And how can we do better next time with a gig, Des? Maybe we'll get a few more people.
a few more people. That's all I would. And I would like to not quite have eaten as much chocolate and pastry stuff. Now I feel a little bit
Sick.
The gastro's coming back. Not gastro, the reflux.
Oh, yeah.
We're getting old, Dave.
We are. No, Des, thanks for coming on the podcast.
No, thank you, Dave.
You can follow Des on Facebook or...
Facebook.
But also, if you
I've
need a
done Instagram.
comedian, he runs a business called funnyguys.com.au.
Funnyguys.com.au. We're
for functions.
Christmas, the last, I presume. When will this go to
great.
air?
Yeah, a few
August
weeks.
next year?
No, it's a big delay.
No.
Well, grand final week's coming up in Melbourne.
Grand final week.
We've got like Christmas parties, and Des. The good thing about Des, he's a comedian himself, so he knows how to put a person for the right gig.
Which, no, you'll be surprised, 99% of the time is me. But no, it's not. I will...
No, you answer the phone. Funny guy's going to help you. You need a comedian.
Yes.
I hear Des Dowling's very good. I'll just get him.
No. I tell you what, no, there's some great...
he's got all the contacts.
No, we've had... I tell you what, Hughesy's been doing a few lately. Limo...
I did the truck show for you.
Good yourself. Evan Hocking, Tommy Seeger.
Hocko, Billy Stiles.
Billy Stiles.
Brad Oakes.
Claire
I worked with
Hooper,
the great man last night.
Ron Lewis. They're all
there we
out
go.
there.
They're all out
They're all
there.
part of the stable.
Yeah, get Dilrook.
Dilrook.
Pay him in celery and toilet paper.
Nah, you got to find Dilrook. He's always so busy.
He's always busy. It's
too
true.
popular.
All right, thanks, Des.
All right, thank you.
Can
Watch
you
that.
hit-
Watch that kangaroo.
What's that? Hey, whoa, hit the button, Des.